Hey, internets, welcome. We're back. Woo! We're going to pick up on a cliffhanger tonight. Welcome. It's Mysteries in the Dalelands. I'm Wally Hobbit, and I'll be your host and dungeon master tonight, and I'll be hanging out with all the NPCs and so forth. Let's go around and meet our cast and get into this thing because, I think a couple of them might have almost developed some sort of gastrointestinal issues waiting for this episode to get here after last week's cliffhanger. So we'll start in the bottom right corner as you're looking at the screen. So for Julie, tell us a little bit about your character.
Yeah, I am Mike Hart. I play for Jilly, who is a Asimar, who is a follower of the Raven Queen. I'm a warlock, not a cleric, but it doesn't really matter. She's still my patron. And just out and about looking for all of the emotions that really make life worth living in the first place.
Ah, yes. Very nice, very nice. All right, good. Let's go to Ronvin. I'm going to do a random scramble around the box here. So, Ronvin, tell us a little bit about yourself. Welcome back, by the way. Glad you're back with us this week.
Yes, it was definitely weird not playing last week. This is Vivia Vivesha, and I'm playing Ronvin. Ronvin is a baby Arzamar artificer who is super proud of herself that she finally got to leave her village. She Calavera completely threw her into like a I don't know, early life crisis because she questions why she eats cows if they're nice, and she's still suffering from that. Now she doesn't even know what she should eat, what she shouldn't eat, and all of these guys have to suffer for it. Yeah, and I missed last week, and there was stuff going on with sheep, and I'm a little afraid.
Nice. Yeah, a little afraid. It's good to be a little afraid, I think. Yeah, good. All right, let's go right just above you to Gears. Dave, tell us about Gears.
Hi, folks. Dave. Hey, Wilson on most of the social medias, at least the ones that I'm a part of. I play Gears, the international mountain of mystery. They are the fighter of the group and haven't really shown much about what they look like other than being a large cloaked figure that kills things really efficiently.
Very nice. That's all we need to know, right? Okay, very good. Let's go down to the bottom left. Algernon. Al, tell us a little bit about what's going on with your character.
Hey everybody, Manny at Growed Up Geeks on the socials. I play Algernon Atano, a wizarding student on quite the adventurous foreign study abroad program.
Nice, very good. All right, let's go to Calavera, upper right corner.
Hey, I am Paige. You can usually find me as either Keyline Bi or Keyline Cutie Bi, depending on whether or not I was able to get the first one. And tonight I am playing Galavera, the Fire Ganassi cleric, who turns out doesn't know that much about being a cleric. I think she prayed for like the first time last session. It's fine.
That's weird. Yeah, everything's fine.
Fine.
Everything's good.
We're doing it live.
We're doing it live. It's all live. It's all unscripted in the moment. Absolutely. And man, I've never been associated with a greater number of people with secrets than I have with this party. So it's been fun to watch unfold. And speaking of people with secrets, our friend Rue. Tell us a little bit about Rue.
Everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables. You don't really need to know much about Rue because, it'll be dead in the first 10 minutes anyway, so don't worry about it.
No, come on. I wouldn't do a thing like that. So, yeah, about that, Rue. When last we were together, you were in a bit of a situation. You were stealthing, and you were kind of inspecting and exploring the mouth of a cave. There were 3 sheep. That is actually why you and I believe it was Gears. And who else is up there? Is it Ronvin or is it Calavera? Calavera. Okay, so Gears, Calavera, yeah, and Rue went up to kind of like, why are we hearing sheep bleating? And what you discovered was you were up into the trees, up into the woods, about 100, 150 yards off the road. And you discovered the mouth of a very kind of a dark cave entrance. And the sheep were staked out kind of in random places out in front. And they were bleating away and doing sheep sounds and all of that. And the strange thing was that there was something odd hanging in the trees. You were probably hunkered down behind a rock, what, about 40, 50 feet from the cave mouth. And they decided to send Rue, or maybe Rue volunteered. I guess it doesn't matter now because, wheels have been set in motion. But Rue finds himself stealthing up to see what is it that's hanging in the trees. And here's where things began to get a little dicey. Turns out what's hanging in the trees is kind of a medium-sized humanoid body. And by hanging, I don't mean necessarily by a noose. It's more like kind of on a hook or somehow tethered, just like you would keep meat fresh if you lived in Alaska. And it's been skinned mostly, and there are pieces and chunks missing. And that's what was swinging from a soiled rope in the trees. And as Rue discovered this, much to his dismay, as he turned to stealth back to where Gears and Calavera are, and he's probably 40 feet kind of to the right, maybe 2 o'clock in that direction, if Calavera and Gears are the center of the clock. He hears the unmistakable loud crack of a branch snapping not far through the trees. And it's I'm trying to remember the time of day. I believe it's late afternoon, maybe early evening, on the 21st of Flame Rule, on your second full day on the road. And you hear the snap of a branch, the unmistakable sound of something. And the branch, it wasn't like a twig snap, it was a branch snap. And so that probably leads you to believe that something large may be advancing toward your position, Rue, from the right. And just when you thought it couldn't get any more sinister, Gears and Calavera, they probably heard the first snap, but they definitely heard the second snap of a branch. Snap, sap, crunch, as something rather large is coming from their left. So as we paint this picture again, you have a small hillock in the trees. It's not dense forest, but it's enough trees so that it would create a canopy if it were sunny out and provide much shade. You've got some sheep that are staked out again. There's 3 of them. A couple of like a rock fire ring and a couple of rocks, maybe for sitting. A couple logs and stuff there. And you've got the ground is fairly trampled underfoot a little bit. And yeah, you got this cadaver hanging in the trees, and something is apparently approaching. And so yes, let's go.
Is the campfire between me and where Gears and Calavera are?
Yeah, let's get the theater of the mind together. Yeah. You were about 20 feet to the right of the cave mouth as you're looking at it. Okay, and you're probably, if you were to go a straight line to that cave mouth, it'd be about 20 feet at an angle. Okay. I'd say about 30 feet back over your left shoulder, if you were facing the cave, would be Calavera and Gears. So they're probably about 50 feet from the cave mouth, straight back from the cave mouth. And between them and the cave mouth would be where the fire ring is and where the sheep are tethered. There are a number of large trees, some boulders and rocks as you're getting closer to the Dragon Spine Mountains. And so there is, some large rocks, some trees between you and where Calavera and Gears are hiding behind a rather large boulder. And again, off in the distance, hard to gauge, maybe 20, 30 feet, you hear brush moving, you hear the snap of that branch. Something is approaching from your kind of your northeast, and then from Gears and Calavera's perspective, something's approaching from the west. They would be south of the cave. The cave would be true north. So what would you like to do? We'll kind of go to Rue here, since you're the person in the action. You were stealthing back when you heard this. What would you like to do?
So I feel like I'm still pretty hidden, right?
You did roll, if I recall, like a
25,000
on your stealth roll. Yeah. Yeah, you did really well there. And there, like I said, it's getting to be early evening, so shadows are long. And it's not going to be too much trouble to try to conceal yourself if you want to hide, take the hide action, or obviously with stealth you're able to move and to the best of your understanding, you're probably not going to be seen very easily by whatever is out there.
Okay. So there is something that I like to do, but while I'm doing it, I would definitely shoot a look up at Gears and Calavera to see what they're doing
Okay.
in response to this sound while
Okay.
I'm doing what I do.
Good. So let's go back to Calivera and Mr. Gears. What do you do when you hear the snapping? First, you hear kind of the crunch and snap of branches off in the direction of Rue. And then you hear maybe 20, 30 feet to your left, to your west, as you face the cave behind your rock, you hear the same type of sound over there. What would you like to do?
I know what Gears would do, and that's glaive up and start moving towards where we think Rue is, because he basically just disappeared.
Yeah, I think we did definitely lose track of Rue.
Yeah.
I think Galavera, she was like trying to look for Rue and didn't notice the first set of snaps. But then the ones on the left happened, and she just like jumps and startles and she's looking away trying to figure out what's making that sound.
Okay. Roll me perception, please, if you will. If you're going to look over there and try to,
I would love to.
what's making that?
That's an 18.
An 18. So with an 18 perception, you can definitely tell it's probably about 20 feet away from you, due west to your left. And you can see a couple saplings move, and you can hear more crunching and the brush and leaves shuffling. And you would guess that something large is ambling towards you. And by ambling, I don't mean running. I mean definitely coming towards you, but not at a brisk pace.
Stalking, maybe?
Probably walking.
It's stalking towards us?
If you listen, you can hear footfalls, doosh, 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 kind of. So not running, not trying to creep like slowly. Sounds like it's like literally ambling through the forest.
Yeah, Calavera, she's gonna start like backing up just to stay close to Gears.
Okay.
That seems to be the safest place to be right now.
Well, it casts a large shadow for sure. Gears, you said you were going to head in the direction of Rue?
Yes.
Okay.
Carefully with the glaive up.
Okay. That's not the sound of me rolling dice by any stretch of the imagination. Okay, so Calavera, you're going to kind of sneak behind Gears, and Gears, you're going to make your way toward Rue. Rue, make me a perception roll, please.
That is a 16.
16. So I assume you've kind of frozen in position. Is that right?
Well, I'm getting something from my bag.
Okay. Yeah, so you're looking maybe back to see if you can see Calivera and Gears, and you're kind of rifling through your bag.
Yeah,
and you look, and
I wanted to see what their
yeah,
what their intent was.
Okay. As you stand there, you can make out a familiar shadow, a familiar silhouette, if you will, through the shadows in the trees, and it's Gears coming towards you. And you see that he has his glaive out, which I kind of think he always does, but it looks like maybe you could tell by the angle of it that he's holding it in such a manner that would lead you to believe that he might want to stab something with it, or cut or hack.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I pulled off of my bag a crowbar, and I would like to toss the crowbar into the mouth of the cave so that it clangs around a whole bunch, and then stealth as quickly as I can toward Gears and Calavera.
Okay. And so you've got about a 20-foot shot to the cave mouth. The forest isn't so dense that it's going to be a difficult task to get it through the trees. So why don't you roll either athletics, or I'm going to let you roll dex, since you're a dex-based character and this is sort of like a ranged attack. And I'm going to give you
You're a kind of benevolent DM,
I'm going to give you a DC of 13 to see if you can get this thing in the cave mouth. I will say you do have...
Well, that
5 plus 2s you can add from the donations and
Oh,
such, and a d20 reroll as a party. So
don't need it. So that's a dirty 20.
okay, yeah.
Nice.
So
You said flat dexterity, right?
yeah, just a flat dex roll. So describe to me how you do this.
Cool. So I imagine that the crowbar would be like on the side of my pack. And so I just kind of loosen the strap that's got it tied there and just kind of toss it underhand, kind of end over end,
Yeah.
aiming to land right inside the cave entrance and make a whole bunch of noise.
Yeah, sure. Okay. So you do this, and it does, whoo, whoo. And it almost feels to you like slow motion because you can hear the ambling crunching moving towards you. And then all three of you hear from the left, from the west, the pace pick up and the crashing and crunching getting louder. And what sounds like an unmistakably low-pitched, rumbly growl thing. And this crowbar drops dead center in the mouth of the cave. And it clatters into some leaves, and then you hear the familiar ring of metal pinging as it finds a rock, like a rocky outcropping or something right in the cave mouth, and ping, 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 and it drops. As a
And I'm moving towards Calavera
Okay.
and Gears quickly.
Okay. As the result of that, go ahead and roll me stealth again, this time at disadvantage, because now you're moving quickly.
That is a 16.
16. Okay, so you head back toward Gears and Calavera. Gears, you see Rue come out of the shadows, maybe 10 foot from you, coming towards you. You hear the crowbar clank.
And I'm motioning back towards the rest of the party. Like, let's get out of here.
You hear the crowbar clank into the cave mouth. You roll me perception again, anybody who wishes to.
Uh,
16 for Gears.
Okay.
23.
Okay. Gears. So Calavera will just leave you out of this conversation. Is that what you're telling me?
that was another. That was a nat one again.
Well,
I'm
get 'em-
back on it.
Now would be the time to use those. Yeah. You don't want to be. Yeah. So Gears, you're facing where Rue just came from, and you see a large hulking shape, kind of a silhouette shadow, and it stops for a second, turns its head toward the cave mouth, and then starts to make a dead sprint in that direction. And you see saplings and snapping and crashing of branches. The sheep even react and start pleading frantically. It's a horrible sound. Rue, over, actually around or beside Gear's shoulder, behind them, you see a large silhouette. And by large, it's got to be a good 8 feet tall. And with that 23, you also notice a little bit of sunlight catches off of some shiny edged metal. Looks like maybe a large axe. And it is making a beeline directly for you and is now at the big boulder where Gears and Calavera were, and it's on the run. It's probably 20 feet from your position, and running in
Between us and the rest of the party?
running in your direction. Yeah, the rest of the party is a good 150 yards down the hill.
Ooh.
In fact, if memory serves, Fragile is filling water skins down the river, down below the road. Is that right, Fragile? Do I have that?
I thought that was before we did that before we went up to the rocks.
Because
but
I thought you did
sure,
something.
I'm game.
I thought you did something and went down beneath the road. But anyway, I'm not that worried about that. We've got the party split up nicely. So,
They didn't want to come look at the sheep.
right. Yes.
Okay,
See,
fine.
choices.
Fine.
Choices.
So there's one.
There's one of
there's
these
one silhouette
large.
behind you.
One ran in the
And
direction
do
of
I
the
have to lead on
cave.
The other one?
And yeah, one you didn't, but Gears saw the other one. The one that was tailing you or coming towards you is actually gone toward the cave mouth, apparently following the sound of your your ruse. The other one rolled a nat 20 on his perception and heard Gears amble off into the brush in your direction, and so he's heard the clatter of the metal, and he is barreling towards you all. What I think I'd like to do is have you all roll initiative. Oh boy, oh boy.
So as far away as we are, do we notice anything? I mean, if you say we're like 150 feet away,
Yards.
or
And you're kind of through the trees, down a
German.
couple of hills. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. So you wouldn't hear any of what's occurring up there from your distance. Okay. Let me start collecting initiatives. Let's see who's back there. Rue, what have you got?
5.
Rue has a 5. That's not really very high.
Thanks.
Calavera.
Out of 15, which is really good for me.
All right.
Don't expect this to happen again.
That's it, right?
I will not be going first often.
Gears, where are you in the initiative?
17.
Okay.
It's probably best.
Do I have the opportunity to say something?
Absolutely.
Before-
Absolutely. Say anything you like.
Oh.
I will say to Gears, I'm going to try to say this at a conversational tone so that the one in the cave doesn't hear, but loud enough for hopefully them to hear. Behind you.
Okay. Yeah, you can do that. No problem. The one in the cave, you can hear him or her, it, whatever, stomping up and heading into the cave mouth. So Gears and Calavera, you hear behind you from Rue. And you don't have any problem hearing this thing. You know, he's taking down small trees and crushing through the underbrush, snapping and breaking things. And you hear this low growl. I'll give you a chance to react to what Rue says.
Yeah. Pivot, set the glaive, and ready to receive a charge attack.
Okay. So do you turn and face it?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, so you turn around, and what you see is... that's not exciting. Hang on a minute. It's a lot more exciting when you can see it. You see that barreling towards you, and it sees you, and it just takes a huge breath and lets out an absolute roar of rage and anger. Ah! And you can see he's got big fangs and spittle. Everything, his teeth are yellow, and as he gets close to you in melee range, you can smell the just disgusting, pungent, acrid smell of sweat and BO, furry, hairy arms. And it's your go, Gears. You have initiative.
Cool. I was going to say, we've been on the road for 3 days. We probably all smell like this. All right.
Station.
Glaive. Where's my character sheet? Oh, dear. That is 17 to hit.
Okay, that's a hit. He's wearing, it looks like various scraps of hide, skins and things, so not a real high armor class.
Yeah, that usually means lots of HP. Nice. 10 plus 3 is 14. Sorry, 10 plus 4 is 14 damage.
Okay. Yeah, and he lets out a bellow. Describe for me what your attack looks like as you go after this thing. And as you engage him, you hear him yell as if he's almost like he's trying to communicate with somebody. You hear him yell, Muruk! And then you hear a bellow come from the cave mouth as you do your attack. Describe for me your attack, Dave.
So as Rue's running by and warning us of the attack impending from behind, which we heard, Gears will pivot, raise the glaive up, and set it with a foot at the butt to receive the attack. And this creature has just sort of run right into this massive glaive blade, taking it a nasty long line of bloody gore to the chest.
Yeah, and you open up a huge gash in this thing, and it immediately just red, just rushes, stains the furs on his loin and on his chest, and he just howls in pain. Anything else you have for us, Gears?
No, that's it.
Okay, so Calivera, you were right there with Gears, and this big stinky thing comes barreling in. What would you like to do? It's your turn.
Um, am I stuck in melee with it?
You are beside Gears, so you would
Mhm.
be in melee. Yeah,
Okay, even though are glaives reach weapons? I
they
can't
are.
remember.
Yeah, they are. It's a 10 foot.
Okay.
Yeah.
I have a 10-foot reach, so
Yep.
I mean, technically, I don't know. Your call.
Yeah, he's like I said.
Yeah,
He
I'm trying
saw
to
you
figure
and
out if
hurled
I.
in. Yeah.
Okay, I was trying
I
to
would-
figure out if I could like get away without procting
I would-
attacks of opportunity.
I would say you could do that if you move behind Gears. I would say that would make sense.
That's
to
what
me.
I was planning on doing.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. If you were to going to kind of
Yeah,
sidestep and just
so-
get right behind Gears, you could do that.
Mm-hmm. So Calavera is going to move back there, and then she's going to use her action to cast Produce Flame. But instead of using it as an attack, she's going to take it and throw this bright flame straight up as high as she can to try to create something like akin to a flare, hopefully to get people's attention.
Okay. I will ask the party at the roadside to roll perception for me, and I'll circle back with you in a minute. Okay, so just describe what this looks like. You're in the trees. It's the shadows are getting long. Early evening. Tell me what it looks like, Calivera.
Yeah, so it's starting to get dark now, and as Calavera steps back, she it's almost like an instinctual thing, like for this like flame to like flare up in her hand, like a defensive thing. She looks at it for a second, kind of looks up at this big bleeding hulk of a thing, thinks about it, and then she just takes it and she just flings it up as hard as she can, and it travels farther than she probably would be strong enough to throw it, because I know I can hurl it 30 feet as an attack, so it's going up there, and as it goes up, it's just like casting this bright light outwards until it hits a peak in the sky, stays there for a moment, and then just like slowly dies out.
Okay. Great. Yeah. So you do this, and you
Please
see
help us.
you see this thing.
Fireworks.
You see this thing react, and it's like, "Ugh." It's like clutching this blood, and it looks up, and it actually follows the light for a minute, almost like it's mesmerized, like, oh, shiny, kind of a reaction. How did my perception rolls work out? Ronvin, what did you do with that?
12.
12. How about Algernon? Or Al?
14.
14. How about Fragile?
We doing a perception?
Yeah.
17.
Okay. Each of you hear a angry roar up the hill in the direction that your party mates went. Fragile, you notice a strange glow in the canopy of the trees in that same direction. There you go. So
Yeah.
what would you all do then when you hear that? I'll give you a reaction right now.
My reaction would be to take off towards them.
Yep.
Okay.
I can always track Clover back down when we're done.
Okay. Yep. So you've got 150 yards. That's 450 feet, right? And when you run, that's double move. So
Yep,
it'll
that
be
covers a whopping 60.
So it'll take you a little while to get up
Oh
there.
no.
Yeah.
Oh,
All right.
No.
Very good.
20 yards is around.
The ogre,
Try and
Or
stay
the,
alive, people. We're
not-
coming.
not
We're
ogre,
coming.
but would anybody be familiar with ogres out of Calivera, Rue, and Gears?
Probably not.
Okay, because
You even have to ask.
these aren't ogres. So anyway, they're not. Anyway, so this thing looks at you, Gears, and growls and spits up some blood, and just rears back, takes a mighty swing with the notched, jagged battle axe. Ooh, cool. And finds purchase.
Oh,
I'm
no.
confident with a
You're confident.
nat 20.
Yeah, that will do it.
Thankfully, your attack was so brutal that it kept him from using two hands. His one hand is like clutching his chest. So you take 12 and ouch! 17, what is that? 29? As this thing just wails on you.
You've killed me.
All right, so Gears goes down. Woo! All right, Rue, you're next. How's that? You're not last.
Get him, buddy.
All right.
Shock.
Oh no.
What's wrong?
Oh, I just realized something. It's fine. Keep going.
All right. I will. I am going to run around. How far is the creature from me?
You're within 10 feet. You have a large collapsed Gears in front of you, kind of between the two.
All right. Here's what I would. What I'd like to do is pull out my bow and shoot this thing as I'm running towards and past it.
Okay.
And I'm yelling as I go, "Come and get me, big ugly thing."
Yeah.
And that is a
Remember all the +2s.
Where's my? Sorry, I'm not nervous. You're nervous. That's a 15 to hit. That should hit.
I'm not nervous. Yeah, that hits.
So
go ahead and roll your damage.
And do I get sneak attack for Calavera being there?
Yeah, you have allies.
Okay. So that's a 6.
Calavera, you
Another
lost your cover,
5.
by the way.
I figured.
Your cover went down.
That is 14 points of damage.
Okay.
And I'm running past the thing and trying to draw it away from Calavera.
How close are you running to this thing as you go by?
I would be trying to stay away from its weapon range, certainly.
Okay. Yeah, and as you know, that would have like a 10-foot reach with a battle axe and being a large type creature. Okay, so you're going to try just to run just outside of its swing range. Okay. Yeah, and this thing just kind of bellows, and you bury an arrow right into its chest, down to the fletching. I mean, it was a heck of a shot. And it kind of clutches at it and turns around and wants to try and swing at you, but there's, it just kind of flails. There's no way. You hear behind you in the direction of the cave, crashing around and roaring, and you hear, some similar language as if it's responding to the initial one that yelled. And it's like Zorag. Anybody like Gears? Well, don't worry about you. Calavera and Rue, hit me with your languages real quick. What languages do y'all speak?
I'm sure it's Thieves' Cant, right?
It's not Thieves' Cant, no.
No, I've got Common, Goblin, and Halfling.
Okay.
I have Common, Primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay, yeah, you don't recognize what
No.
the language is. So okay, very good. Gears, we are at the top of the order, and so I would ask if you would kindly make us a death save by rolling a d20. 10 and up is a success. Under 10 is a fail.
18.
So put yourself down for one success. Calavera, you were there. You see that this hulking, stinking, bleeding thing is wobbly on its feet, and it's turned to face Rue as Rue dashed by.
It's looking real bad.
Looks, yeah, I mean, it's just gushing blood. The blood is pooling at its feet. It's breathing heavily. It's got that chest rattle going.
Oh, I do love to see it. Okay, so okay. So Calavera, she what she does is she looks down at Gears, who is currently a heap at her feet.
Yeah, and he's bleeding from a serious gash across, kind of diagonally across the front of him.
What does the blood look like?
What's the blood look like?
What does the blood look like?
What's the blood look like?
Let's roll the gears.
Stain that's coming out is not red. It is sort of a mixture of things, sort of a greasy, dark, oily substance, and it is flowing very freely as things go.
Okay, and seeing like what bad shape Gears is in, Calavera, she like takes a step back, starts shaking her head, and she's like, "This, you are not allowed to die yet." And she is going to cast Spare the Dying
Very good.
as a bonus action.
Nice. Yes, cantrip. Yes, very good.
And Gears is stabilized.
Yes, so you feel as you, or maybe you see, I'm not sure, but his chest begins to rise at a slow,
Their chest.
calm rate, or their chest.
Actually,
Excuse me. Thank you.
It doesn't really do anything.
Okay.
Because they were never really right. The chest was never really rising and falling
Okay.
anyway.
Okay. Yeah.
But the relaxed heap might twitch a bit and show some signs of life.
Yeah. So you are stabilized and no longer needing to make saving throws. Does that put you at 1 hit point, Calavera, or 0?
No, it does
Just
not.
stabilized.
Spare the die. Okay.
So you're still at 0.
If I had rolled a nat 20 on a death save,
That would have been a bummer. Or no, that would have put
But-
you up. Excuse
with
me. I
1
was
point.
thinking nat 1. Yeah. Okay. Anything else you'd like to do? You still have an action and a movement.
And that was a bonus action. She says this, and then she looks up at the one that's like advancing on Rue, and she goes, "But you, this is enough." And with that, she's casting Toll the Dead as an
Nice.
action.
Nice.
And so this is going to be a Wisdom saving throw.
Very good.
A DC of 13.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, it kind of stops. What's the effect of Toll the Dead? Like, describe for me how the spell works when you cast it.
Was that a failure?
It was an exact hit.
If it
13. I rolled a 14, and he has a -1. So it's an exact save.
okay. So does that mean that he beats it?
That's
I
a
think
success.
so. Meets beats.
Yep.
So she says this, and there's this kind of moment that to everyone kind of sounds like a low like bass boof, and then it fades out.
Yeah.
And nothing's happened, but she looks kind of surprised, and she's like rubbing her one ear like she heard something super loud.
Yeah. This thing
But
reacts.
nothing has happened.
Yeah, this thing reacts, and he's like, kind of like, almost like he's shaking off being groggy. But obviously, it didn't create the desired effect. But you can tell that it, he at least heard your magics. Okay, you still have a move if you wish to take that.
I think I'm going to. I don't want to move too much farther away from Gears just in case.
Okay, very well.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so this thing is going to move. Rue, you had how many feet of movement? 30?
30.
Yeah, so you're 20 feet from him because you were about 10-ish feet away when you started your turn. So he's going to move in your direction and take a swing at you and roar again with his battle axe. Those of you coming up the hill are hearing another occasional roar. Something's up. He swings, does a... Many windows open. Does a 13 hit you?
No. It
Okay.
misses.
Okay, so that looks like, speaking of missing, we just lost Gears. Hopefully he'll come back soon. So yeah, this just huge battle axe swings above your head and misses you. Okay, it is your turn.
I'm gonna shoot a quick glance back at the cave. Do I see anything coming from that direction yet?
You do not. You can hear something is over there, but you don't see anything coming towards you.
Okay, then I will spin around and run backwards, continuing in the same direction and taunting this thing. You're gonna have to try better than that to hit me.
Nice.
And I'm gonna shoot it again. That is a that is a 10. I'll add a +2. Do we know its AC yet?
So with a 10, you miss. With a +2, you would hit because his AC is 12. So we'll go ahead and burn a +2. That puts you down to 4. Very nice.
And
Money
still
well
sneak
spent.
attack, right?
Yeah.
So that's another 9 points of damage.
Okay. Describe for me. Tell me what this looks like as you fell this beast. Drops his battle axe. Tell me what happens.
I am still running backwards, but at a slower rate to try to draw it towards me, away from Gears and Calavera. And I am just throwing every taunt and insult I can think of at this creature. And as it looks up at me, I just put an arrow right between its eyes.
Nice. Yeah, and it just right into its forehead, and it just falls over, drops its battle axe, falls over, and perishes. So it is down. Calavera, you see, with an expert shot, Rue takes this thing down. That brings us to the other creature that you hear rummaging about north of you by about, what did we decide, about 40 feet away, 50 feet away in the cave.
Can I just say to Calavera, can you get them back up?
I can. I think so, yes.
Okay.
Are we...
Might not be a bad idea.
We are back to the top of the order. And that puts us at Gears,
How far away are we now?
Gears, who is stable. You have moved 120 feet, so you are 330 feet out and gaining.
Dang it, it's just 10 feet too little. I use my crossbow. Next round.
Calavera, you are up. What would you like to do?
Calavera just kind of like collapses down to her knees to like get down to Gears. And she's going to like put her hands like down like kind of close to where the wound is, and she's going to push a cure wounds into him.
Okay. Go ahead and roll your damage on that if you'd like.
Actually, since Gears is at 0 HP, Circle of Mortality kicks in, and I give him max.
Nice. So that's D8 plus 2. Is that right?
+3, so that is a total of 11 HP back.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Excellent.
It's like this like, you know, when you kind of get like hit in the face with like warm air, like that kind of boof kind of feeling. It's like that, just pushing through and pushing like the coldness of almost dying away for a second.
Gotcha. So Gears, you feel this warmth, this like convection, warm air that Calavera described, and you're up with 11 hit points.
Awesome.
Yay,
Thank you.
Calavera.
Thank you.
Okay.
Please get up. Please
I'm
get
just
up. We
gonna-
really need you. There's another one of them.
Rearrange the cameras.
And they are
here.
very big.
So if there's one following Rue, is it getting close enough that
It's in the cave.
Ronvin would? So
The one on-
wasn't he leading one towards us?
That one's dead.
Oh, that's the dead one.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
other
you got
one's
that one.
the other one's in the cave. Okay. Rude, it's your turn.
Okay. I am. I think I'm going to stay where I am and hold an action to shoot that thing if it comes out. And I'm gonna yell to Calavera and Gears. Let's get back to the others.
Okay, that concludes round 4. Excuse me. Yeah. So you three coming up the hill have traveled 240 feet. Okay. I mean, you can hear the ruckus of battle. You can hear Rue's voice echoing through the silent forest, other than the sheep bleating. You can also hear the rumblings and growls. And we're back at the top of the order. So I have Gears is up, Calavera. What would you like to do, Gears?
Well, I assume I'm on the ground. I assume I haven't missed much either. I apologize. I had some severe technical issues here. So Gears will spend half movement to get up. I've missed a bit, so we have 2 opponents, including
One of them is dead. The one that was on Rue, Rue killed him. The other one is the one that was in the cave.
The one that killed you is down.
Okay, good. I thought that we had 2 opponents still, and I was a little worried about that. All right. So half movement to get up, glaive back at the ready, and moving backwards, sort of doing this gentle bum push to anyone who might be behind Gears to move them down the hill toward where the rest of the party is.
Okay.
But can't move at full speed. How far away is this other opponent that's coming?
Well, the cave mouth is about 50 feet from the rock where you had your battle.
Okay.
Yeah, and you can
We
hear the
don't
sounds
have
of
eyes on that creature yet,
right.
right?
You can hear it rummaging and clattering around. Yeah, making grunting
that's fine.
noises.
It's a decision as to whether or not I get ready to attack or do a defensive withdrawal. So half movement to get up, and then the action movement will be the additional 30 feet to keep moving back and keep hurting my my charges away from danger.
Gears, you're going to double move down the hill.
Yes, I hope everyone else does as well.
Calavera,
I am moving down the hill.
double move as well.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to leave anyone behind.
Well, all these things kind of happen simultaneously. We just can only do them.
No,
one at a
yeah,
time.
yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
You know,
I'm
you
ready to
see
go.
you see Gears bailing, right? Like double moving down the hill.
Yeah,
They're hurting you indirectly if you're not already moving in that direction.
I'm going. I'm gone.
Rue, you're next.
Yeah, I will start running backwards towards the rest of the party. But at this point, I think I would just turn around and just run. We haven't seen that they can do anything ranged, so
Okay.
may as well just give in my full double dash.
Very good. All right, so you hear behind you crashing and bellowing as this thing exits the cave and heads in the direction of where he last heard his companion. And you just hear stuff breaking and crashing, and sheep are bleating again. He's sounds like he's keeping pace but not gaining. So the team has moved 350 feet up the hill. You have moved 60 feet down the hill, 350 and 6. So you can probably see through the trees now, Ronvin, Algernon, and Fragili, the forms, the familiar silhouettes of Gears, Calavera, and Rue as you are within about 100 feet of them or so. And they're running towards you. What would you three like to do? I'm going to give you a shot now in initiative.
Well, we already rolled initiative a while back, but Runra will definitely stop and get her crossbow up to kind of make sure that nothing gets them in the back.
Okay.
But yeah, my initiative back then was 20.
Yep.
Kind of rolled at the same time.
Well, I'm just putting the three of you, since you're coming up as one unit, at the bottom of initiative now that we're all getting together. So I assume Gears, Calavera, and Rue, you're going to continue bolting toward your party mates?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna say that you are all able to unite as one party. And you can hear coming from the north, from the direction of the cave, growling and bellowing in some unintelligible language. For Geely, Algernon, and Ronvin, what languages do you speak?
Common, deep speech, draconic, and dwarvish.
Celestial, Common, and Dwarvish.
Okay.
I'm looking.
It's not
Celestial, Common, Elvish, and Sylvan.
Okay, yeah, nobody recognizes. And it seems to be going from like anger to rage. You caught it like freaked out in the middle of all that. Like just and it's coming down the hill in your direction. If you had to guess based on the silhouette you can see coming towards you, it's probably 60 feet off.
That's fine.
What would you all like to do?
Kill it.
I'm just going to go.
Or maybe we just leave?
We use my held action and shoot it.
Yeah, I'm going to put Ronvin at the top. What did you roll initiative-wise, Algernon? Did you roll?
Yeah, I rolled an 11.
Okay, I'm just going to drop you in the order that you rolled in. Fragili, did you roll initiative earlier?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
Yeah. Dump. 3.
Okay. Okay. Ronvin, you can see 60 feet away. You've got trees and so forth, so I'm going to give him partial cover. But go ahead and make a shot with your crossbow. I'm almost positive partial cover puts you at a -2. I'm going to confirm that.
I think.
Is it -2 or disadvantage?
I think it depends on how much cover it is.
To hit, that's a 20 -2. That's an 18 to hit.
Let me make sure I've got it right here. Hang on. 18?
I rolled a dirty 20.
Okay.
Half cover is +2 bonus to AC and Dex saving throws.
What's partial cover? There we go. I found it. All right, partial cover. There is no such. It's half cover. All right. I thought there was a thing called partial cover. +2, so it's a -2 on your attack. Same difference. You hit.
All right. All right. That is 5 damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you hear this thing howl as it continues down the hill. You all see Ronvin just set and crossbow shot. Beautiful accuracy. Bam in the shoulder. All right. Gears. About 60 feet away, you got this honking big beast. Looks just like the thing that took you down. It's just
Same axe or similar axe?
Yeah, it's a similar battle axe. Yeah. I mean, you can clearly tell it's not the same creature. The hides are different. It's another one. Yeah.
Continue moving back double time.
Yeah, it was coming at you double move, but it's not his turn, so he's not going to be able to get to you. He's about 60 feet away.
Yeah, just double move back.
Okay.
Keep moving everyone else back.
Okay. Yeah, you could double move and be there in melee, but that would be your action.
Yeah.
Okay. Calavera.
Did Ronvin?
What's that?
So
I was asking, did Ronvin not move? Did she stay put and shoot it, or did she also
No,
run?
once I saw them running towards us, I stopped
Okay.
and covered their back so that when it came out, I could shoot it. So I'm actually
Yep.
behind you guys.
Yeah, she's probably not
Because
as close.
I stopped while you guys kept running.
Yep,
Okay.
she stopped and set, made a good shot. Okay, so Calavera,
how much distance do we have on this thing?
about 60 feet. And you saw Gears just charge back up the hill, brandishing his glaive, and get there.
Oh no, I was retreating. I was continuing the retreat.
Oh, I misunderstood. I thought you went
No.
toward him.
We're,
Okay.
we're backing up.
Okay.
We're backing up.
Gears left. Okay.
No.
Okay.
I'm staying with the party and moving them back toward the rest of the group.
Okay, hang on.
Interesting
Let me
from Ronvin,
time
though.
out. Time out.
You're leaving her.
Time out. Let me resolve that. I think Gears is misunderstanding something. The party's together with the exception of Ronvin, who's further down the hill. So you're with the party now.
Okay. No.
So go ahead and choose what you'd
Okay.
like to do movement-wise. This thing is 60 feet up the hill yet from you.
Can I hold an action until it reaches us?
Yep.
Yeah, so I'll hold a melee attack with my glaive until it's within range of my glaive, which is 10 feet out.
Cool.
And at that point, when they're at that range, I'll strike.
Awesome. Andrew, you were saying.
No, that's good.
Okay. Yeah. I knew Dave was picturing it differently. That's why I wanted to go back to him real quick and get that straightened out.
Yep.
Yeah, no,
Right.
sorry, my head was still tech fail mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The group is 60 feet away, with the exception of Ronvin, who's probably about 20 feet further away. I'm picturing Ronvin kind of up against a tree, taking a nice solid shot. Boom! Hammers it for 5. Calavera, you're next in initiative.
So now that we've reached the rest of the party, she turns around to see where it is and sees it's still coming towards us.
Yeah.
And she just kind of takes another deep breath and yells at it. I said this is enough, and that's going to be another Toll the Dead
Okay.
as an action.
Yep. And that thing has like a
So
range
it's
of
a wisdom
120
saving throw?
feet or something, doesn't it?
60 feet.
60 feet. Good enough.
It's
I have
enough.
a
That's all that matters.
It's enough.
15.
Ouch.
It is. Things
Okay.
are too wise.
I know they're thinking so good. So, no, yeah, she sees that this doesn't work, and what can I do? Not much. And yeah, she's just going to take a couple steps back so that she is not close to where it's going to end up.
Sure. Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, you saw that Gears kind of took a wouldn't say a defensive posture, but you could see he's set and ready to do his business. So
He
once
is ready
again,
to be violent.
Yeah, he'd be a good dude to get behind. Very good. Okay, next in initiative is Al.
So from the 60 feet,
Yep.
I'm going to cast Ray of Frost, which upon hit will also slow its chase speed by about 10 feet.
10 feet. Yep.
Ooh,
Nice.
Nice.
Is that a ranged
that's
attack?
smart.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna have you with that same kind of half cover, so his AC is gonna be a little bit higher
Okay.
because he's coming through
So what,
trees and
minus
stuff.
2?
Yeah. So
Okay. So with the minus 2, it's going to be 16 to hit.
okay, that's a hit.
It's going to take 8 damage and be slowed, have its movement speed slowed by 10 feet till
Cool.
the end of its next turn.
Okay. So what does this ray of frost look like, and especially like when it affects the creature?
It's gonna kind of just be this slow kind of creeping frost like you would see like on a windshield as it gets real cold. And then it's just gonna turn this kind of dark gangrenous color on exposed flesh and probably like burn like hell.
Yeah, serious frostbite action. Nice, yeah. So this thing howls, and it's almost like it's trying to itch itself, like what is on me as it's coming down the hill, and it also looks to have slowed down, almost like its joints have stiffened or something. This spell is having exactly the effect you anticipated. Would there be anything else you'd like to do, Al?
I'll save a clever quip for later.
Okay. Holding a.
I hold action on a clever quip.
Nice, I like it. Excellent, very good. Okay, it is going to take its turn, and it's barreling down the hill, but not at the clip it was. And it gets to within about 10 feet of, I'm going to assume the lead character is probably Gears. Would that be a safe assumption? I don't want to railroad or... Okay. You know what? I think I skipped Rue. Rue, it is your turn. I apologize.
Okay.
I wrote your name too small there.
So this thing's still 60 feet from me, right?
Yeah.
Hey, can you hear me? Yeah. So I will run a further 20 feet away to the 80-foot range of my short bow.
Yep.
And then turn around and shoot it again.
Okay. So you move down near Ronvin?
That's a natural one.
Okay. Yeah, so your arrow clatters off through the trees. But you looked really good dashing down, turning, firing, off the trees. Great. Anything else?
Nice form.
All right. So now this thing is going to continue to barrel down the hill. But again, not at the clip it was. Again, it looks like its joints are stiffening or something. And much to your delight, Gears, it moved about 50 feet, which puts it within the reach of your glaive if you would like to unleash your held action at this point.
Yes, it would. That is 17 to hit.
Yep.
And that would be an additional 12 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, so you open up a big gash down the side of this thing because it's got his battle axe up, right? He wants to just hammer you. And in fact, being within 10 feet of you, he also will get to take his attack because he has reach. But you just absolutely...
We'll roll another 20.
You just absolutely opened a gash right down the side. And you can see he was going to two-hand you, man. He was going to just come down and just hammer you. And when you did that, right, he was only able to use one hand because he's, reacting to your shot. Let's see. How does a 19 sound? Is that pretty cool?
That hits.
Okay.
Sadly.
Yeah. So I'm gonna do some damage with my battle axe here. He's just gonna take one swipe across kind of your chest, and he's gonna get you for 13.
I'm down again.
Down goes the tank.
It's fine. You can fix that.
So he stands over you as you go down, and he just rears back and roars. And this just bellows through the forest. Fragile, you are last in line.
Oh, now Fragili's not happy. You've definitely awoken an emotion in her. She was preparing to blast it with some Eldritch Blast, but she's going to scream in rage at seeing her friend drop to the ground. And she is going straight after it with her sword.
Very well.
So it's probably not helping, but she's going to, because there's nothing to hit with it, but she is going to cast Green Flame Blade, and she's going to make her melee attack on it.
Okay.
That would be a 19 versus AC.
That's a hit.
And so, oh, nice. That's 10 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
10 points of piercing damage.
Does the green flame blade add fire damage as well? Or does it just...
not quite yet.
Okay, or does it just look really
I got to
cool?
get up to a higher level. It only adds fire damage to the other one,
Gotcha.
so it is normal piercing damage.
Excellent. So give me some cinematics here for Geely as you go through this process of, pulling your sword and raging a little bit and causing the green flames to jump and ending this creature. Tell us what this looks like.
Yeah, I am literally leaping over the top of Gears, and I'm going straight for the eye socket on this thing. And I actually managed to land the blow straight through the eye socket into the skull.
Nice. Yeah. And it's cool because the flames on the sword kind of blow around the skull, and the little hairs and furs, you can hear them sizzle. You smell the smell of burnt hair, and this thing just... Give me a strength check, please, for Geely.
Yeah, that's one of my better rolls. Oh, that's not going to be too bad. 11.
Okay. So the sword actually jerks out of your hand, and it just falls back onto its back, drops its battle axe, and then the sword is just kind of doing one of these, sticking straight up out of its face. And the forest...
I'll let it continue to do that for a second.
The forest just goes silent as you all kind of exhale and look at each other. And that was literally a total of less than a minute. All that happened.
Oh, wait.
As you're all standing around looking at each other. And I'm going to come out of initiative.
I'm going to...
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm going to turn around and try to lend some aid to my downed comrade.
Okay. By what means will you be lending this aid?
Runvin is gonna...
Oh, I don't want to take... I want to go out of order, so I should let people go in their order.
Well, we're out of combat.
We're out of initiative.
Yeah, we're out of
so-
initiative, and you're
I mean, if you guys
the
want to heal him.
you're the closest. So I'm gonna
I
have
can
you go.
grant 1 hit point, which will stabilize him.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, and I was gonna do cure wounds.
I could give him 11.
But then you do
I mean, it would take my other first level slot right now, though. I only have the one.
Okay. I got 2
We
slots
could
left.
We could also stabilize and just let him wake up later.
It's like, well, we were going to take a break anyways, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, with that, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute bio, and when we come back, we'll find out who, if anyone, is going to heal Gears beyond the 1 point of stabilization. So Gears, your eyes kind of flutter open, and you're just like, my gosh. And you see Fragile over you, maybe a little frantic, panting, clearly distressed, but not in an upset way, but more of in an angry way. Like, this whole thing right now is
You're not allowed
cool.
to die.
Yeah. And we're gonna fade to black, and when we come back, we'll sort out who gets to heal who for how much.
can we get an audio check?
Hey, y'all.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice
Yeah.
and clean. Very good.
And if I step out for a second, it's just to check on the wife. She was just
Okay.
went out to rescue the kid with a blown tire. So
Oh, not fun. Just leave your camera up. Ooh, somebody's got DQ.
Wizard.
Okay, so
I
let's. I'm going to rearrange the cameras. And whoops, get everybody in their proper box. And while we're doing that, so who decided, if anybody, that they were going to heal? Gears. Gears has 1 hit point. Fragile gave him a hit point.
Okay, I do have one.
Yep.
Let's
You
go.
do get one.
There, back up.
Fragile. Move Fragile down. So yeah, Ronvin or Calavera?
Because I have 2 spell slots left, and if I use one healing one, I don't want Calavera to use all her healing. We might need that still.
We might need that. That might be a good idea.
Well, you're debating that. Gears will stand up. Their cloak is uttered. Are we on?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Oh, okay, thanks. Their cloak is an utter tattered mess. And they reach up and just pull it off. And if I can just get this done like that.
Ooh.
And this is what you see. Minus the blades into the arms at the moment. They are
Interesting friend.
metal from head to toe. Perfectly spheroid head with a ridge of probably some kind of brass or other lighter gold-colored metal. The jaw is a large hinged affair, and below the brow, the eyes are looking out and regarding each of you in turn, and you just see 2 pinpoints of bright blue, sapphire blue out from under that brow. They are in terrible shape. Their body is dented and rent where the axe is struck. They've taken massive damage. And while standing, they are holding their glaive for support, while regarding the leftovers of this combat and the expectations, perhaps, of you seeing their true form at this point with the cloak off, but it was necessary because as they're standing there, they do let the blades come out of the forearms to show readiness yet again for combat. And one massive hand reaches up to their chest where there is a kind of like a disc with finger holes. Their hands are very different from your own. They only have 3 massive fingers, but they hold their weapons very well. And they put their hands on that plate in their chest, that disc, and start turning and turning and turning. And you hear a clicking and grinding noise, and you see the parts that were loose and rent start to pull closer together and closer, and it's almost like they're healing and getting ready for the next round of combat. And that is, Scott, for your reference, I am using my second wind to heal up a d10 plus damage. So it's a d10 plus 1.
Nice. Roll away.
All right,
Yeah.
can I toss over an inspiration for that great narration? Holy shit!
Just about to do that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I've healed back 7 hit points, so I'm a total of 8 now.
That's awesome, man. So add an inspiration
In fact,
given.
Dave can have.
Good.
He can have 2 inspirations, right?
Yep.
yeah, I'll give him one as well.
All right, so Gears, you've gotten a couple of inspirations awarded from party members for your reveal, for your description. If you want to fade yourself out so that we can see the art that's behind you one more time, because I think Fragile had to step away while you were revealing.
Yes. So here
Um,
is,
So that's what you all see now. Mystery revealed.
although very, very rough and in extremely bad shape, but back up and ready to fight.
Nice. Well done. Bravo. Bravissimo. All right. So you find yourselves kind of on the, this incline in the woods. It's quiet now. The shadows are very long. It's dimly lit. You're about 120 feet from where the cave is. You've just seen this situation with Gears. What would the group like to do?
Well, first thing I'm going to do is ask Gears why you're like impressive. Why have you been hiding yourself?
As many of your kind say, I'm not from around here. I find my form draws unwanted attention from your more magically inclined kind. Your mage rights have issues with my form, it seems. And as you regard them, as horrible as the rents are that have formed back together again a bit from the battle axe hits, and their Gears is looking back and forth, ready for combat, seemingly more at ease with the twin blades that have sprung from their forearms than the glaive ever was. You notice on the body as well, their body, as much damage as has been sustained, and it's considerable from the single combat. The things you also notice, because we still have daylight, right, Scott? There's
It's
daylight.
It's getting into the twilight. Yeah.
Yeah. You see other marks all over their body. They're crisscrossed with deep scoring across the metal that makes up their frame and exterior. You see some of them are smoothed down somewhat. Others look like they may have been patched somehow, and still others appear as though they have been burned with a very intense heat. If you've ever seen a high heat work against metal, it turns it, when it cools, into a sort of a blued or blackened state. These are deliberate actions that have happened. They follow along potential seams of the body, and it looks as though someone or something has literally possibly attempted to dismantle Gears using various physical and fire-based techniques to try and, if you will, pop open.
I'd like to make an insight check.
Okay.
To see if any of what he, like, obviously Gears would probably not have said those words out loud to me.
Right.
But I'm standing right in front of him and I can see all of these. I want to just see if I have an idea of where it came from.
Okay. Gears, I'm going to let you respond to the die roll. Explain what you would like to.
All right.
I have a 17 on the die. And my insight bonus, come on. Is +0, so it's 17.
So insight generally gives us a sense of motive and intention. In this case, what you're doing is applying that, I guess, to the physical appearance and the appearance of the scars and marks, these are deliberate. They are very measured, deliberate, and if you were to guess, are a result of intensely high heat against the points where there might be seams or there might be a way to access the innards, if you will, of this individual, but probably weren't successful. But the damage is extensive. There's tremendous scarring over their entire body.
So Virgilia's going to actually have like tears form in the corner of her eyes, and she's going to reach out, and if you don't stop her, she's going to actually touch a couple of the scars and tell you that whoever did this to you needs to pay. And when you're ready, I want to hear every single detail, so when we get them for you, I know exactly what I'm getting them for. And she's kind of got this simmering rage underneath, where she's trying to be kind at the same time.
Do not make promises you cannot keep. This mage was quite powerful.
Well, nobody said it had to happen today. Years.
Perhaps.
Did you say?
Nemesis. Yeah. Ronwin completely missed that whole thing because she was like just like a kid in a candy shop, like, that is so cool, and she kind of just this is so amazing, and then she touches him on the biceps and does cure wounds, and that is, oops, nope, that was not what I wanted to roll, but that's okay. 9 HP back, and she's just like, how does this work, and can I sorry, touching, and she's like just looking like, this is so cool, how does this work?
Gears, in fact, looks at Ron very closely, to the point where they're leaning over. They have retracted their blades now. I assume we see that there's no further combat coming. The blades just go back in place into the forearms, and they very carefully reach down past your head to touch Penny Swoop's on its head very gently. And from Gears, you hear the strangest sound as their jaw parts slightly. And it's an odd mixture of a clatter of machinery, maybe. The tinging of metal, for instance, like a hammer on a tightened wire. And an audible chatter like this, almost as though Gears was speaking to Penny Swoops in this strange, metallic machine language. And then they withdraw, not seeing a response from Penny Swoops, and look at you.
She's not there yet. I'm
says,
working on it.
You are starting. You have much promise. You can help. I may show you. But
Completely
I know little.
shiny-eyed and like,
I myself know little of how I work. I just am. And someday we will be able to have Penny Swoops talking as well.
yeah. I'm gonna watch. I'm not gonna touch. No touchy. But I'm gonna watch, and I'm gonna see if I can have Penny and you guys can talk.
Indeed. Shall we see what they were protecting?
That was good. Don't forget to add the 9 HP for the cure wounds before she
Done.
was like all bouncity bounce, uppity up.
It had the desired effect. The the pieces and rents pulled more together. Things look more solid now, but there's still considerable visual surface damage as they shed the rest of what they have as what you would regard as clothing. The cloak is useless, it's torn to shreds. Underneath that was a tabard, very rudely stitched together, probably from 2 or 3 different pieces of clothing. Their arms were once wrapped in bandages, uh, seemingly a long bandage going from shoulder to wrist. No apparent purpose. Grease or oil stains, perhaps, at the various joints at the wrist and the elbow and the shoulder. It seemed to be mostly just for cover. The hands covered in really rude, thick, crudely stitched together gloves. Very unusual, of course, because 3-fingered hands, you don't exactly get custom gloves in those measures. They take those off and flex as though back finally free from any garments or raiments that they might be wearing. The kilt is removed and folded. It's still relatively intact, but stained with oil and grease and other, who knows what kind of fluids move throughout a creature such as this. The boots come off as well. The boots are quite large and again made out of a fairly rude leather. The soles are deeply worn. There's almost nothing left. And the feet themselves would not normally be remarkable to any, but in this case, the feet are simply 2 large toes at the front of each foot, and then almost like a bird-like claw, except it's very thick at the back for balance. Something unusual about Gear's feet and legs is that these 2 are burned, but not in the same way as the burns in the upper torso and even the head, where it looks like they were deliberate attempts to crack open the body of Gears. The legs are burned in a way that has left a deeply black, charring, uneven pattern on the feet and lower legs, almost as though they had walked through an intense, smoky, ugly fire of some kind, leaving that kind of a marking even beyond any attempts to clean it. And there have been. You can see in places where there's spots where perhaps something like a steel wool or something was used to try and remove the carboning of their body. But now you see Gears in their full form, and they are, oh crap, sorry Scott.
Sorry.
Hit the wrong button. I'm just going to go back here because this is cooler. And there they are in their full form and glory. They've suffered a fair bit of damage over whatever period of time they've been around here, it seems. And for Fragile, there might be more of a story to tell. Who knows?
All right, so it's
Rue has been
good.
Watching. At first, he was kind of scanning around, similar to what Gears was, looking for any further combatants. But as it became clear that there were none, I approach and kind of watch these interactions. And then I come and stand right in front of Gears. And I look up at them and I say, your form, you say that people don't take too kindly to your form. But that does not determine but that does not determine who you are. I watched you when you could have left me stuck there with those beasts, and you came charging into danger instead to come back for me. That tells me a lot more about who you are than what your form is. And that's not something I'll soon forget.
It is what I was made for. Forged for.
Well, it's much appreciated.
You are welcome.
It has grown.
And
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, Gears blithely just starts packing up all of these destroyed pieces of clothing and starts putting them away in a very loosely hung sack that was at their waist, and starts putting that away. On the other side, there's a kind of a hip satchel hanging off a belt that looks fairly full. And on their back, you also see now a harness. And in that harness, now they're putting back the glaive to hang off their back, and the crossbow that they also have is now hanging off the other hip as well. So it's a little bit awkward, but it is what it is. And their hands are free, and they have freedom of their movement now more than they had before. And for someone or for something so large, they move with a definite grace. Not perfect like Rue, but a fairly decent capability. Fragile, when you put your hand on Gear's chest, you also notice that the metal is not smooth, but it's, aside from the rents, also rippled in an odd way.
I will turn to Calavera. You alright?
You mean from the fight and everything? Yes, I'm fine.
That was some pretty scary sights. I have never seen beasts like that.
Me neither. Should we find a place to rest for the night? Garrus, if you want, I can help you fix up your clothing. If that is something that you would want, so you're not walking around naked, I think.
What is your preoccupation with my appearance?
Oh no, I'm just wondering. I mean, if they started walking around without clothing, they would feel weird about it, so I'm not sure if you do as well. If not, I have no problem.
Where I'm from, this is my generally accepted form.
And
Where are you from? Sorry.
And I was gonna say, like, Alfera nods, and she's been confused this time, but not towards Gears, but towards everyone else's reactions to Gears.
Where are you from? Or actually, before I ask that, Wiley, do I recognize anything about this form? Is this like remotely familiar? Okay, that's what I figured.
No.
Just making sure.
Nope.
Yeah, so I would ask that. Where are you from?
You hear what sounds like what we as modern people might associate with a flywheel spinning down. Just I am not from around here. I do not understand how I came to this realm, but this is not my home. When we are out of danger, perhaps there is a story to tell. And they continue, just packing things up and watching for any further danger. studying to see whether or not this area with the lair of these giants, well, or whatever they are, is maybe suitable to rest in, or if it's something that we should avoid. No.
Maybe they got some shiny in that cave. Or babies? Because they were kind of defending something.
I don't know. We didn't see any more of them, but you never know.
Well, let's go check out the cave. Or do you want to take a break first?
Gears will start examining the bodies, like rummage around, see if there's any coin on them, and generally try to determine male, female. Doesn't really matter to him, but them. But
Yeah, so there's the one body that's closest to all of you. Hairy, probably you had to guess 400, somewhere between 400 and 500 pounds, about 8 feet tall, very muscular, thick, sinewy, large incisors, fangs on the bottom, yellowy, green, gross teeth, smelly. Again, covered in, what am I trying to say? Pelts and things, hides for armor. You would guess that these are both probably male adults, would be your guesstimation. The one that's down there has nothing with it other than the battle axe.
right.
And if you are you all headed like up the hill then to check the next one?
Yep.
Yeah. So same thing there. Similar size, musculature, all of that. Probably male, and all it has with it is the battle axe. And that one is felled, what about 50 feet from the cave mouth, kind of near that big boulder that you were taking cover behind at the start of these shenanigans.
All right.
I look over to Al as we're walking back in that direction and say, I owe you an apology. You're right. Those sheep sure are dangerous.
It is a harbinger of doom.
The sheep, for their part, are calmer. They're one of them's laying down, the other two are just kind of grazing at what little greenery there is left around where they've been staked. But they don't seem to be, they're not even making sounds now. They're nowhere near as frantic or as on edge as they once were.
Yeah.
They appear to be fully grown, for anyone who knows anything about such things.
Not Gears.
Not the Calavera.
I think we're going to have a traveling circus with us soon.
How many animals can we bring with us?
Ronvin would be most familiar probably just from being from Mistledale. There's farms all through the Dalelands. People farm sheep for meat and for wool. You also know they're like dumber than stones and don't make really good companions.
They're not good pets, no. They're good food. Make good clothes.
So
Maybe they stole them for food. I mean, they also got milk if they're girl sheep.
Yeah, can we get a gender on the sheep?
Does
Are they
anyone? I would need
cheese?
an animal handling probably.
I'm going into the cave to avoid the sheep shenanigans.
It's a 21.
Okay.
I need out of this.
Yeah. They're actually they all happen to be male.
All right, no milk over here. That must have been for food. Let's check the cave. Enough talking about sheep.
Calavera is already in the cave. She is
I
out
would
here.
I would have gone with her.
Okay. So Rue and Calavera are entering the cave. Rue, your crowbar is laying there up
Yeah, I
against a
retrieve
little
it.
small stony kind of a cleft in the floor of the cave. As you go in there, it's dark. It smells rather unpleasant. Foul would be a good word. Acrid. BO smell. It smells bad. And there's also the smell of spoiling meat in the air, more out in front of the cave, more toward the right of the cave.
Do you need light to see?
Yeah, I'm already reaching for a torch from my pack.
Calver will reach over and she'll just like grab the head of it and light it like that, basically with her hand.
Oh,
And she'll pull away.
Nice.
well, that's handy.
Yeah, so
I'm still getting used to it.
the flame on the head of the torch jumps to life. You immediately feel the heat, the flicker, casting all kind of really interesting shadows inside the cave. And what you have is a dry cave, stone
Wait,
slash
sorry, did she cast light on it or did she
No,
light it
produce
with
flame.
fire?
produce flame.
I use
Oh,
produce
okay,
flame.
got it. Okay, got it.
Stone floor, cracked here and there. Some of it's dirt, some of it's stone that's showing through. There's a kind of a roughly stacked, dropped pile of broken wood and such. There's a fire ring also in the cave. There are an assortment of bones, various sizes, various thicknesses. There are, pieces of hide and things all around the cave. And that's what you notice so far. Calavera, you do catch a glint of shiny metal. The cave itself is, give or take, about 30 feet, roundish, very irregular shaped. A few nooks and crannies, some cracks in the walls, but nothing that looks like there's a tunnel or passageway. But you do catch the glint of metal all the way kind of back and to the left.
I think she'll start heading back that way.
Okay. Yeah.
Just to go check it
Follow
out.
after her.
So you walk back there and look, and there is a partially in some what looks to be maybe blood-stained, some kind of cloth. Think about like burlap almost, that kind of a rough cloth that they might make rags from or bags from. And you see the pommel, the hilt of a what looks to be a rapier, part of the very slender blade peeking out as it lay there against the back wall.
I think she picks it up to try to get a better look at it.
Yeah, so you pick this up, and it is indeed a rapier. You pull it, get the nasty cloth, and man, it smells bad. It's stained and just gross. You kind of blow the dust off on that, and it's a beautiful, beautiful, elegant, graceful rapier. It actually even reflects some of the torchlight, against the cave walls and so forth. What are the four of you? Gears, Ronvin, Al, and Fragile. What are you all up to?
Gears will be moving into the cave as well to do a rear guard and keep watch over their charges who've gone into a more dangerous situation.
Al's still kind of scared of the sheet, so he's probably kind of slowly made his way into the dark unknown to avoid domesticated animals.
Okay.
Yeah, Runwin, once she gets a whiff of that disgusting smell, she's probably going to try and figure out where it came from. That rotten meat smell.
Yeah, it's kind of to the right and out in front of the cave, off in the trees a little bit. And it's
She's not going to go by herself.
okay.
She's going to keep that in the back of her mind and just follow the others then first.
Okay, it's pretty darn pungent. Okay. Yeah, so anybody who goes in the cave, you can see the forms, the silhouettes of Rue and Calavera. And Calavera appears to be holding a sword of some sort, a rapier, and it's glinting, the torchlight's glinting off of it. You see the scattered bones. You see what looks like maybe a couple of piles of bones near like logs that have been rolled up near the fire ring. So you would presume maybe they took some meals right there around the fire. Go ahead, Calavera.
I will specify, she's holding it badly. It's clear she doesn't know how to use this.
Yeah, like holding it right in the middle of the blade. What is this?
Yeah, oh no, obviously.
Yeah, I got you. Okay.
Al's going to take an interest in the rapier and just kind of go over and see if through any kind of passive divine powers he can sense if it's just a rapier or if there's possibly something more to it.
Yeah, so you pick the rapier up. Why don't you roll an Arcana check for me, please?
Yeah, Calavera very happily hands it over.
It's going to be
I
a 22 for Arcana.
22, yeah. So you hold this rapier, and you just get an odd vibration from it that you sense that not only is it beautifully made, there's got to be some sort of magic imbued in this blade, in this weapon. You don't really know what, but you sense it's not just a really shiny rapier.
Given that we seem pretty secure in this cave, Gears is outside, and as best we can tell, nothing's kind of in the surrounding area. I'm going to take 10 minutes and cast Identify on the rapier.
Right. So
any magical properties or just anything kind of special about it.
All right, so I'll catch up with you in 10 minutes of game time. So you see Algernon, I would assume maybe you just kind of have a seat and, maybe an incantation.
Kind of cross-legged.
You just kind of lose yourself in the mystique of this weapon. And I will return to you momentito. Anybody else doing anything in the cave, out of the cave? For Geely, what are you up to?
Sorry, I muted myself. The first thing for Jilly's going to do is she is going to extricate her weapon from the skull of the creature.
Yep.
And then, how obvious is it that there is is the corpse like obviously hanging right there from a tree when you walk up towards the cave?
It was off to the side, kind of 20. I think it was about 20 feet, Rue, hanging from the trees, about 20 feet toward the east.
So would it be something I need to make a perception check to see?
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a 5. So
yeah, so you would.
In which case, I would have followed them into the cave, and I probably would have looked around for something that I might consider memorabilia, something that I might find of value to commemorate and dedicate the battle to the Raven Queen tonight.
Okay.
So for Jilly, she would definitely be intrigued with such a fine rapier being pulled out and noticing that Al seems to be fawning over it. But she would be picking through and looking through all of the stuff in the cave, maybe to find some mementos of people who might have been victims of these guys.
Okay.
These creatures.
So you're searching around.
Runvin would probably join him because she likes to look for hidden things.
Okay.
Just like she did in the see if there's anything hidden somewhere.
Okay. Yeah. So why don't each of you roll an investigation check for me?
I was also going to take a look around if that's okay.
That's fine. Yep.
I really like looking around, so I'm actually going to use my inspiration die because I rolled a 1 on that.
Yep.
And it's important to her to find things for the Raven Queen.
Absolutely.
16.
Nice. That's a 19 on the die. Well spent inspiration.
Indeed.
You said investigation, right?
Yes, I sure did.
Investigation, I have a +4, so it's a 23.
Okay. Yeah, so Ronvin, you're looking around, and again, there's bones and, just various rubble. There is that pile of what looks to have been firewood, and it's not neatly cut and stacked, right? It's broken branches and limbs, and, it looks like maybe they hacked at it with their battle axes and stuff. But Ronvin, you notice in this wood pile, you see some really pretty blue fabric kind of buried under some of the logs and stuff under the wood. You're just kind of poking around and you see that. So that's going on. And for Geely, You notice, the back left is where Calavera and Rue discovered the blade. Rue, I think you might owe me an investigation as well. Didn't you say you were looking around?
14.
Yeah. So you see Fragile head to the back right corner as she's kind of systematically looking through, and you sense some excitement in what she's doing because she has noticed some of the earth, kind of in the back right kind of corner of this cave. Some of the earth appears to be loose, like it had been maybe dug up and replaced. Why don't we resolve? We'll go ladies first. We'll resolve Ronvin. You see this fabric in the wood pile.
Yeah, she would definitely say, "Oh, that's pretty blue," and she's gonna see if she can try and get it out.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm picturing maybe you're unstacking, moving the wood around, and so forth. And yeah, just after a couple of minutes, it looks like a large bolt of fabric or something is just kind of in a heap under a lot of the wood and so forth. You might surmise that it was buried on purpose, kind of thing, but not very well.
Why was that hidden down here? I'm just gonna take it back to the others and say, "Look what I found.
Yeah.
That was under the firewood."
So you go to pick it up and you lift the fabric, and it's much heavier than you anticipate a pile of fabric would be. And as you pull it up, it unrolls and kind of unfolds, and some stuff clatters out. You see two very, very nice daggers drop onto the floor, and everybody can hear this clatter, bang, bang. The sound of blades hitting wood and stone floor. You see a large kind of a leather book, thunk, drop out, and you also the sparkle of this little golden ring kind of catches your eye in the torchlight, and you hear it ting ting on the ground and drop at your feet. And now you're holding this cloth, and as you look at it, it looks like maybe it's a garment. It looks like it's a robe, and it's this beautiful blue material, very fine robe, kind of heavy, and it has silver thread in it and kind of a filigree around the kind of the sleeves and around the where the lapel would be. It's hooded. Very, very nice robe.
Big rope, small rope.
Looks to be like it would go nicely on a medium-sized, person.
Too bad. I was hoping that we could put that on gears. I mean, maybe we can make a cloak out of it.
It is a cloak.
I think it would look really, really good with the shiny metal. And so she's gonna call out to Al. She say, "Al, there's a book here you might want to check out." And then she's like, "Hey, Rue, there's two daggers," and she's gonna see if she can because. And she wants to pick up the ring and see if she can tell if it's magic or not, and if she thinks it is, she would like to use her identify spell.
Okay.
Which is instantaneous.
Yeah. So the ring, it's a beautiful gold ring. It's fairly kind of engraved in it, and it's a beautiful, smooth golden ring. The daggers, beautifully crafted. I mean, amazing, exquisite, blade work on the daggers. And you have this leather-bound, rather large book. Al,
I think if no one else is,
I was just going to
or
say,
you were, I was
yeah,
gonna
let
say
me-
if no one else is looking at it, Calavera would probably be looking at the book.
okay. Yeah, so it's a leather-bound book.
Depends. Is Al might still be busy.
Yeah, I was
No,
just
yeah,
gonna,
because he has the 10 minutes for
yeah, I
identify.
was just going to resolve
Yeah,
that.
okay.
So Al, after a little bit of time with this rapier, I will send you a Zoom message so that you can see what's up with that. But you've come to your.
Was I able to tell if the ring was
This-
magical?
Hang on a second here. Yeah, so the ring itself is just a beautiful ring. You don't really know if it's magical. You could probably make an Arcana check for me, and just kind of, meditate a little bit on it, or
16?
just focus on it. Yeah, so it definitely, kind of like the description I gave with Algernon and the rapier. It's definitely not just a, costume jewelry. It's a beautiful gold ring, and it definitely has that that vibration of some property beyond just finely crafted for you. So you have a
Yeah.
sense that it would probably be
So-
worth looking into.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast Identify on it. It says the casting time is 1 minute.
Okay. Yeah, so you immediately see Ronvin fussing with something in her hand. Maybe she's held up this ring. Al, you've made your determination. If you want to jump in there. You see everything I've described. Calavera's looking at a leather book. Ronvin's looking at this ring. There's daggers, on the floor.
Al's gonna come out of his kind of little trance with the rapier. Is as best I can tell, it is not cursed. It is just magically imbued with something. He doesn't seem too concerned that it's dangerous or anything. Just kind of like a light magical enchantment, I guess would be the best way to put it. Now that he's out of his trance, he sees kind of this other thing. He just kind of looks at either Ronvin or Calavera. If anybody seems to be kind of, in over their head with what they're looking at. And if we've got another 10 minutes, I can just sit there and just zone out and get back to you guys.
You probably recognize what Ronvin is up to. I would say you would recognize that she's trying to identify the magical properties of the ring that she has in her hand. And you also see Calavera looking very quizzically at this book. Calavera, what language is there? Is something written. It's a dark, soft leather bound. It feels like it's been oiled, very nicely kept, kind of vellum on the inside, and it's a very dark leather. But there's something written across the front in a spidery, very feels a little like filigree, loopy and very fancy script. What languages do you comprehend?
Common, Primordial, and Sylvan.
Okay. Yeah, it looks familiar. Like it reminds you of Sylvan, but it's definitely not. And you can't make it out. Yeah.
I mean, she's still going to be flipping through.
Okay. Yeah, and there is more of that same script inside. There are a few pages that have information written. There might be some little images and illustrations of things. Some symbols that don't look as much like writing as they look like maybe a formula or an equation of some kind, you guess, but you can't make any sense of the actual language that you're looking at.
Can't really piece together, just kind of looking at it, what it might be. Like, how you can kind of look at a textbook and you're like, this isn't making any sense, but I can kind of get the subject.
Because you don't
None of that?
No, because you don't get the language, you're just kind of at a loss.
Al's going to kind of slide over toward, he's going to stand up, walk over to Fragile, hand her the rapier that I've been holding. Maybe this will be something that you find to please your queen. And he hands the rapier, kind of elegantly and formally and respectfully to Fragile.
Wow. Whoa. So Fragili's going to grab it and hold it up, and she's going to weigh its weight in her hand and feel how well crafted it is. And she's gonna be looking up, but she's also gonna keep looking back down at the dirt behind her, trying to figure out what she was looking at. But she's like, "This is a fine blade you found yourself, Al."
It's exquisitely balanced. It's beautifully crafted. It's lightweight. Really feels like an incredible blade. Looks incredibly sharp as well.
It's a mighty fine weapon.
So she's actually gonna like hand it back and say, "Man, this is one hell of a find you've got yourself."
I cannot use it. These skills of the blade are not skills I possess. I feel if something this beautiful and well crafted should be in the hands of somebody that would appreciate it and devotes themselves to something other than themselves, like you do your queen.
You serious? You're serious? Shut the hell up. She's gonna actually jump up and wrap her arms around him and like give him a hug. She's also has the sword in her hand still when she does this, so I'm not sure what Al's reaction is gonna be. But she is so excited that she literally is just going to like embrace him and just tell him that this is the greatest thing anybody has ever done that isn't family.
You have been so kind in protecting me, and we seem to be in this together. We need to look out for each other. This will help not only you, your queen, but all of us as well. May it serve you well. And then Al gets kind of away just so she doesn't like start swinging wildly with a rapier and accidentally cut him. Knife and sword safety is important, y'all.
She is going to she's going to start looking for, well, she's going to look at whatever she found in the dirt, but she's also going to look for a second scabbard or something to put on her belt so she can carry both swords, because she's not going to want to get rid of the other one that has the Raven Queen logo on it.
Sure.
Just yet.
Yeah. Okay. Very good. You do have the loose soil there at your feet. What would you like to do there? There's a scabbard back in the back of the cave near where the rapier was found. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna dig in the dirt. I'm curious about what's down here.
Okay. And I'm guessing
would
Rue
like
is
to
probably right
try
there
and-
with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would offer to help if it seems like she could use help.
Sure. Yeah. So you
And
two
Al's
start.
going to slide over with Calavera and start looking through, like kind of looking over his shoulder at the book.
Okay. I'll resolve that in a moment. Rue and Fragile start to dig furiously at the floor. Again, Gears is kind of standing watch at the cave mouth. Ronwyn seems to have disappeared into this ring she has in her palm of her hand. I'm sure it's not a bad thing. Don't worry about that. Wink. Rue and Fragile, you manage to loosen up the dirt, no problem. And you run into some more of this gross, like hemp sort of fabric, burlap, rough fabric in a ball, kind of wadded up. Down in this hole that you've opened up.
Similar to the fabric that Calavera found the sword in.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
just like scraps of some
This
nasty smelling.
Yeah, this looks similar to what the sword was in.
Oh,
Try to root around and see if I can open it up.
Yeah, it's just a ball of fabric, the size of a deflated volleyball, maybe, not really big. And you have no problems getting it out, and it's got a little heft. It feels heavier than it ought to.
Yeah, I will unravel it.
Yeah, so you open it up and you see a nice pile of 3 different types of shiny little metallic discs, also known as coin. If you were to take the time to count it, you have found 76 gold, 42 silver. I don't know who's going to be your treasure scribe. 42 silver, and 12 platinum.
Oh,
And there are also 2 green gems, uncut, rough, natural state green gems. Anybody with any experience with gems would recognize these probably as emeralds. They're not huge, but they look very, very. They're going to be worth something. Yeah. So, and that's what you
Yeah,
find. in there.
Bronwyn actually knows, and she got jeweler's tools too, and she's like, that's
Oh, okay.
kind of. No, but if she's like, that's kind of Gear's color.
Yeah, they're
Because she grew up in the smithy. She got jeweler tools, smithing tools, and she's already in her head planning on making Gears prettier.
Oh, nice. Adorning the gears. Nice. Yeah, you would guess that
Makeover episode is going to be awesome.
Extreme Home Makeover Dagger Falls edition. So you would guess those two emeralds, uncut as they are probably going to fetch, if you were to sell them, maybe 40 gold apiece. And that's what's in the wad of the burlap. The book. What are
How
your
much gold and
languages?
silver was there?
Okay.
76 gold, 42 silver.
And 12 platinum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Was it
sir.
12 or was it 18?
What's that?
Was it 12 or 18 platinum?
12.
12.
Well, too bad.
And what? This was what? Just like buried, like in a piece of cloth in the in just a part of the cave.
Yep.
Yeah, it was in the back of the cave, kind of in a hole in the floor. And it was all, rolled up in this burlap and stashed in there.
Cool.
There are the 2 daggers. What languages do you speak, Al?
The really nerdy kind. Common, deep speech, draconic, and dwarvish.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah, you don't
The really
recognize.
nerdy kind.
You don't recognize the language that this is written in, but you're very confident you're probably holding someone's spell book. And by the, your guess, you're probably guessing that whatever the script is on the front cover, it's probably the name of the person whose spell book you're holding.
Al's going to take another 10 minutes if we still have the time. Cast Comprehend Language.
Okay, it's nighttime, so you all have whatever amount of time you'd like to have.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like you said, I'm going to have a little powwow with this book for
Okay.
10 minutes. Cast Comprehend Language. So
Okay.
see y'all in a bit.
Very good.
I'm going to take a look at them too. I don't know if I
What languages do you
know
speak for
any of the
June?
languages.
I have to write all these
I'm
down.
trying to find it on this stupid. I speak Celestial, Common, Fey, and I think Elvish.
Yeah,
Class features.
You recognize.
It's Mike. It's all the way in the bottom left of D&D Beyond. You'll say proficiency in languages.
Aha! Thank you. Yeah, Celestial, Elvish, Sylvan, and Common.
You recognize that this is written in Elvish.
Oh, Algeron, you found yourself an Elvish spellbook.
Are you gonna read the name on the cover, or shall I send it to you via Zoom?
I'm going to read the name on the cover.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you hear first for Geely. I'm assuming you probably speak it in Elvish, a very beautiful, sonorous, melodic language, and then it's in Common. Elitis Quartermain is the name on the book. Elitis Quartermain.
Yeah, someone named Elitis Quartermain owned this book. The name doesn't sound familiar to me. Does it sound familiar to any of you guys?
The owner of the spellbook.
Yeah. Was some elf or somebody who could write an Elvish name, Elitis Quartermain.
Have I heard that name before?
Yeah, I study wizardry as a concept. Is it somebody I may have heard of in my studies?
No. No.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, probably some low-level guy then that you might get yourself a magic missile spell out of.
Al, go
Any
ahead.
chance to learn is a chance to learn.
I will, Al. I'm going to give you details, but basically, what you've discovered as you get into this, you've comprehended languages. The first section of this are first level wizard spells, and there appear to be 5 of them. And the second section, separated by a blank page, are second level wizard spells. There appear to be 4 of those. I will message what those spells are to you.
Nice.
I
Not
just
happy.
need the money.
Yeah, and so you've kind of combed the cave and you've found what apparently there is to be found in here. There's no other secret anythings or hidden. You know, you had 2 really great and 1 adequate proficiency check, and you're confident that you've kind of sacked this cave. Again, it's large enough, for these 2 beasts to be in here with plenty of room, along with whatever gear they had and their bit of treasure. And a fire ring, a decent sized fire ring for cooking and eating. You can see where there's a couple of, areas where they've maybe brought in some leaves and dead plants and stuff that you would assume they might have been laying on to sleep. A couple of pallets. And it's dark. Other than the flickering torchlight, it has gotten fully dark out in the woods outside and thus quite dark inside the cave aside from your torchlight.
So, when she was done with the ring, this is getting darker, she probably touched Penny Swoops, and Penny Swoops lights up again. She also wants to check out the 2 daggers to see if she feels anything magical about them.
Sure. Go ahead and roll Arcana. We'll just do 1 roll for the pair. They look to be matching daggers. They're identical.
22.
Yeah. You get the sense that these are beautifully crafted, like master crafted weapons, balanced nicely, keen edge, beautiful filigree. You've probably seen a bit of that book. You notice some script on there that looks to be maybe of the same language on the flat of the blades. You would guess, based on what all you've heard in that, these are probably just very fine elven made daggers.
All right. So she'll put on her new ring, and she'll take over the daggers to Elle and say, I think these belong to the Elvish dude. I don't think there's anything special about them, and she's gonna, but they're pretty. Give him the daggers.
Yeah, you would guess they would
she's-
fetch some money. Like they're probably worth something, and they are fine blades.
Yeah, because she grew up in the smithy, but
Yeah.
they're not magical, but they're good daggers. They're very good daggers, and probably fetch a lot of money if you don't want to use them. And then she's gonna take the fabric, and she's kind of gonna drag Calavera and hold it up to Gear and say, if we cut it in the front and open it wide here, can we kind of wear it like a cloak tabard thing? It's such a nice color.
It is
It's
hooded.
filigree in it.
Yeah, it's hooded.
You
Um,
could ask him if he would want that.
While this is going on, Gears is just moving out of the cave area to the fire pit and collecting wood along the way to set up a fire.
okay.
Roman is like, I just wanted to know if it was possible before I offer it to him, and he gets excited, and then you say there's not enough of it. It might not be long enough, but he can still, eat.
You could make something work with it, probably, yes.
So he still has like movement,
Yeah, I could see it being a little poncho-y or tabardy, depending on how you want to arrange the fabric. But you got a good hood, and you could make it kind of where it would fasten, almost like a cape and a hood or something like that. But it wouldn't be like a full cowled cloak that
No, it's not big enough,
overlaps.
but
Yeah, I mean it would for a smaller person, but not for Gears.
I mean, perhaps are you certain that it is not itself magical as well, since there's a lot of other magical stuff in there?
Oh, can she feel anything magical from the fabric?
Make another Arcana roll, please.
Right.
Gears, do
17.
they have a sense of smell, Gears?
Does Gears have a sense of smell?
Yeah.
I don't know. As a Warforged, the need to breathe does not exist. So that's the other aspect. Like, they have no apparent ears,
Right.
no apparent nose.
Okay.
So, as a matter of perception, Scott, I'm not entirely sure how that
Yeah,
works.
so
I
I'll have to look
assume
into that a
they're
little
not
bit. Okay.
bereft of the ability.
Not that important. 17, you are pretty confident, Ronvin, that this is
Well,
a fine traveler's robe, something that wouldn't be uncommon for a person who wants to look well appointed. It's a very nice robe, but it doesn't give you a sense of any Dwemer.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're. It's like it says they don't smell, but there's like a mask. There's a magic component known as the tracker mask that he could wear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not that important at all.
Just,
So we're gonna.
nothing important at all. So I want to do that for him, and then also I got to spend part of our rest attuning to the ring.
You could ask him if he wants that.
Oh, but it's like it's a surprise and it's a present. He's busy.
Okay.
So she's gonna.
Get busy with
Okay.
your. Okay.
I'll help Gears out.
She's
Okay.
way too excited to stop.
I'll help Gears put together a fire in the camp area.
Okay. Calavera, make me perception, please, and roll with roll with advantage.
Well, one of those was a nat 1. The other one gives me a 21.
Okay. You are getting the strong scent. I mean, it like hits you in the face as you start to work. As you exit the cave to the left, would be the right if you were facing the cave. The strong stench of rotted meat. Very acrid, bitter, just foul. Ugh. And it seems to be coming from that direction.
Gears, I think I smell something over there. If I go look and then go missing, could you kill whatever does that?
If we've got the fire ready, Gears just picks up one of the burning logs and follows you.
Yeah. Okay. So you head over that way and you go maybe about 20 feet in through the trees. Was somebody going to say something? I'm sorry. No? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes?
I said not yet.
Okay. And you see a very grisly sight, a dark silhouette. The fire kind of flickers on it. And you see a skinned, medium-sized humanoid hanging from a rough cord, twisted rope. Again, not like a noose, like it was killed by that means. It's just hanging there, bits and chunks missing from it. And you've very easily determined that that is the source of the smell.
How high up?
I believe where the feet would have been is probably about 6 feet off the ground.
Okay. Gears will reach up and cut the corpse down.
Yeah. Easy enough to do. Looks again like it probably was a medium humanoid, pretty slender.
Anything remarkable about the ears? Maybe elfish looking?
Yeah, they're pointed ears, 100%.
Okay.
We should probably.
I will take it back to where the other monsters' corpses are and start looking for something to start digging with.
Okay. Great. So what we're going to do is we are going to end our episode here this evening. I'm going to assume everybody's going to hunker down, set watches for a long rest, and regain spell slots and hit points and second winds and all that stuff. Excellent. Well, let's jump around the horn here real quick and just tell us. We'll start with Al. Just let us know anything we want to know about you. Just a quick outro.
Like I said, catch me at Growed Up Geek on the socials, making funny remarks about this campaign and these great people that I get to play with every week. Just thanks for tuning in, everybody. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Gears.
Oh, Gears. Dave here. As I said earlier, at Hey Wilson on most of the socials, making commentary on pretty much anything that strikes my fancy. And these days, there's a lot to talk about, but also very focused on this wonderful game and all of the wonderful people that I get to play with and all of the very interesting characters that we're learning about.
Nice. Ronvin.
Right. First, before I forget, I want to toss an inspiration to Fraggle because, Fraggle actually opened up twice and hugged somebody and almost cried.
Oh, she
So,
did. She did.
Yeah. So for opening up and, their role play, I think I really wanted to have an inspiration. Else, yeah, on the Twitter, you can find me as Miss Vivacia, on Twitch as Vivacia. I am here with these lovely people. If, nothing's keeping me down. This Friday is our finale of our Zweihander campaign, our pirate campaign, in which I soloed a vampire and totally set his hair on fire because I hated him. And on Friday, so on Encounter Roleplay at 9 p.m. is our finale. I am not really ready for any of that or the big fight, but that's okay. And every second Tuesday on Uncanny Adventures, Call of Cthulhu in the Wild West. And yeah,
Oh, wow.
there's snake people. There's snake people, and they have personal shields, and they're throwing grenades, and nothing's good. Nothing's good in that world. But that's okay. It's good in here.
Good.
Yeah,
Right.
and Gears reveal was amazing. I mean, it was.
Awesome. That was awesome. All right, Calavera.
Hi, I am Paige. You can find me on Twitter at KeylimeCutieBye. I don't really do much there. Usually I'm talking about either different podcasts that have caught my interest, like different fiction podcasts. Sometimes I'll find some really cool, like different tabletop stuff that catches my interest. And really, I'm just having a great time with everyone here. We keep opening up some really cool roleplay, and I'm always like blown away every night.
Awesome.
If I had
Yeah.
inspirations to give to all of you, I would, but I don't. You'll all have to wait your turn.
That's right. Nice. All right. Thanks, Calavera. Rue.
Hey everyone, I'm Andrew, aka Fellowship of the Tables. On Twitter, I'm Fellowship OTT because character limits. Yeah, just having a blast with this campaign. It's a great group.
Good. I'm glad to hear that. Last but not least, Fragile.
I am Buckethead Clunk on all my social media, but I'm still not very social media savvy. So, in fact, I just learned how to play with Roll20 because of the COVID epidemic. So my homebrew, we have been playing using Roll20 lately. So my social skills are hopefully growing because I really have enjoyed being a part of this community. This is incredible. And I would like to throw Ruin Inspiration die because I absolutely love when characters take common, mundane things to make a difference in the game. And the throwing of the crowbar to cause the distraction that helped might have been what helped him to get away and come look for help. I really appreciate that type of play where people don't have to always metagame and just use what's around you.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah, that distracted the half ogre long enough to buy you time to live. Because I think if you'd have had two of those things swinging on you, that could have gotten bad really quick. So, yeah, well played.
Yeah.
Okay, that's everybody. So me, is that everybody? That is everybody. So I'm Wiley Hobbit, back on Earth, known as Scott. I'd like to thank everybody for coming in and hanging out and chat. And man, another great night of roleplay. Kind of want to echo what everybody said already. Everybody did a great job of just being in character, being immersed, and interacting. And Gears, hats off to a great reveal. And great to see you all rewarding one another with inspiration. I love it. So this party just keeps getting better and better and better. And we didn't have to kill anybody, so that's kind of a relief. So I'll sleep good tonight knowing we didn't have to start a reroll. One thing I should mention, though, tomorrow when you wake up in game, which will be next Monday, you will all be second level. So please go through the necessary machinations between now and Monday to level up your characters. Quick reminder, since low-level characters are so fragile, kind of close to Fragile. I like you to use max hit points for first and second level plus your con bonus, so it could take another max HP. That way I can thump on you a little better too. So yeah, make sure you do that, and so everything that comes with being second level you have earned. Al, I will message you the list of spells that you found in the spell book, and we'll consider it a long rest, and we'll pick up next week on the 22nd Flame Rule, bright and early in the morning. Thank you all for a great game. Again, thanks for everybody for hanging out and following and all that stuff. Just a quick plug for an event coming up this coming weekend, October 2nd through the 4th. I put all the info in chat, but the Virtual Greyhawk Con is something you're going to want to check out. A lot of games, panels, talk shows, you name it, it's going on. There's a link where you can register for the weekend so that you can get in there and see things. A lot of the stuff is streamed. The schedules are down below the video screen here so you can see what else going on. And a highlight for me, I'm going to be DMing a game for a group of 6 level characters way up in the north of Greyhawk, the Foul Crypt of the Mountain Kings. So it should be interesting. That'll be 4 p.m. Sunday, right after our 1 p.m. stream. So, all right, we're going to get out of here. I'm going to raid a channel, and that will be... I'm going to raid my buddy Maxine. She's that girl at that place. She just went live. She was in chat for a little while. She plays in our Sunday game, plays Ada. And so that raid has started off. So go give her some love when we raid. And thanks, everybody. And we will see you all next Monday at 7:30. So sorry we missed you, whoever that was that jumped in and said you got in here late. Take care. See you in a week.
Guys.